So I want to read you a little something to begin. We're witnesses. And I was thinking, I wrote one of the meditations for this coming week, the title was Witness. And then I saw this morning in Tricycle magazine, the Buddhist magazine, there's a little article by Paul Kingsnorth. And it's called The Witness. So I just think about this as I'm reading and get the connections. You can do that. You have, oh, nobly born, you have subtle minds. The greatest ecological crisis in the Earth's history began with the emission of climate-changing gases by an organism that had spread widely across the planet, colonizing many of its ecological niches. These gases, the waste products of its lifestyle, gradually accumulated in the atmosphere. For a long time, nothing noticeably changed. But at some stage, a tipping point was reached, and the climate flipped rapidly from one state to another. The composition of the atmosphere changed, becoming poisonous to most life on Earth. And the planet's mean temperature plunged, precipitating a global ice age. The resulting mass extinction killed perhaps 90% of all living things on Earth. You thought it was us. You thought it was us for a minute that we were talking about. That was 2.3 billion years ago. The climate-changing organisms were bacteria, and the poison gas that they emitted was oxygen. What? Come on. Without the planetary catastrophe they precipitated, you and almost everything you know about life on Earth would never have come about at all. All told, there have so far been at least 5, and perhaps as many as 20 mass extinction events. The first one, known as the Great Oxygen Catastrophe, was perhaps the most far-reaching. The last 66 million years ago is the one we know best because it is the most appealing to human imagination. It wiped out all the dinosaurs. Overall, it is estimated that around 98% of all organisms that ever existed are gone forever. All created things perish. All made things is how we would think about it. All made things perish, says the Buddha. Whatever is subject to origination is subject to cessation. So, in other words, every body dies. It's a good thing we're not bodies. So this description started out so close to what we think about is going on right now. And he goes on to talk about this. He's an ecologist. He's a pretty well-known author. And he goes on to say that we are in the midst of an extinction event right now, and it's pretty far advanced. Here's the thing about it. We are not going to go extinct. Because it just so happens, we are not, human beings, we are not going to go extinct because it just so happens that we've evolved far enough that we will find a way to continue to exist. The problem for us is that our quality of life is going to be much reduced. The quality of life for us, quality of life for our children is going to really marginal. And many millions will die. But maybe even more importantly, it's all the other species that we are presently killing with our behavior. Now here's the thing, those bacteria that created the oxygen, they actually couldn't change their behavior. That was their nature. was the nature of that particular bacteria, was to do what they did. So the question then to us becomes, is it our nature? Are we incapable of changing our behavior? I've been told that the answer is no. I think the answer is yes. I think we can change our behavior. I think there are a number of us who have made decisions to actually change the behavior. But it's actually going to be too late for a lot of species upon the planet. So this Buddhist perspective on this leaves open a lot of questions about what we should do. What do we do? Which thing is it? I mean, I'm talking about us individually in our own lives. There's lots of suggestions out there. There are lots of practices that we could look it up. And there are a number of things that we could do. Let's just say one example is that there are a number of things we could do to reduce our individual carbon footprint. There's a number of things we could do. Well, what he is suggesting in this article, and I don't want to just read everything that he wrote there, but what he's suggesting is the way that we actually figure out what we are supposed to do individually is to sit. To sit and witness. To sit and witness our own meditation in regards to these things. When the Buddha was enlightened, he was sitting under the Bodhi tree, and Mara appears to him. And Mara is this mythical figure that is like, think of it as, I think of it as the ego run wild. But it's always tempting Buddha. It's always coming to the Buddha and tempting him. Some people in some religions would say this is the devil, Satan, whatever. But Mara says to Buddha, how do you know that you've been enlightened? How can you prove that you've been enlightened? And the Buddha touches the earth and says, the earth proves it. So I'm suggesting here that in our meditation, that we ask the earth. We ask the earth, what is it that we're supposed to be? And of course, miracles suggest that what we do is we ask Spirit. We ask Spirit, what are we to do? What are we to do with this moment, with this day, in regards to this issue that we find ourselves having? I was reading in the Narcotics Anonymous Just for Today meditation book today, and it was talking about gifts and there's a promise of freedom by practicing these spiritual principles, and then the other things that result are gifts. And of course, in my practice, I'm always trying to figure out where the gift is, because I was taught that every person who comes in front of me has a gift, and that I have a gift for them. And so, I mean, how many times, if you just consider it, right? How many times, I'm thinking for myself, take my own inventory, how many times have I asked myself, this is a gift? This? So where's the gift? And I am told and I'm taught and try to realize that the gift is God's will. Well, I mean, and that gift is available at all times. God's will is not for me. God's will is not for the distraction. Okay? God, we were witnessing distraction, right? I mean, like right now. God's will is not for the distraction. God's will is for us to find the opportunity for good that lies in the moment. That the distraction is trying to take our attention away from. So this is how we always can stay centered in God's will, is to know that yes, there may be something unpleasant happening right now. But if we can be quiet for a moment, this goodwill will be revealed to us. And so we know what to do next, right? And for sure, we know what to do next is not to react. What to do next is not to some, angry outburst kind of reaction. Because we know this because from experience we know that causes more suffering for us, and of course minds are joined, so our suffering is joined by others. And so goodwill is for the quieting of our own mind to the point where we can hear the Holy Spirit tell us what to do next. And it goes, and it absolutely fits with this whole idea of what is our responsibility with the planet. Because yes, there's something to be said for speaking up. And sometimes there's something to be said for acting out. Not that often. I think we're justified many times. So to speak up and say what we see, there's nothing wrong with that. But to get worked up and to get mad and to be carrying on, it can only fuel whatever other opinions may be out there that are already in opposition to the common welfare. So so whatever it is that we witness, it would be good if we were able to process that which we witness in the quiet of our minds, and then report that which we witness in a way that does not just overtly cause others to instantly go into opposition to us. Even when we do it calmly, even when we do it lovingly, there are always going to be some reactions because sometimes we are in such a state of fear that we will react badly, even to a measured and reasoned argument. Sometimes we are so entrenched in our opinions that we can't listen to another person give us some information that we don't agree with, even if they do it in a peaceful and loving way. But our job is just to do whatever Spirit suggests that we do. Our job is just to follow through. When we say, look, here's what I'm doing. I am trying to touch God. I'm trying to touch God. I'm trying to improve the way I get in touch with God through prayer and my meditation so that I can find out what it is that I'm supposed to do. And in the doing, practice these principles in all my affairs. That regardless of how others interpret it, or interact. Now, part of that is definitely to try to present these things, to try to testify to what I have witnessed in a way that is not offensive. But still, I have no power over the reactions of others, except to then do my best to interact lovingly with them, rather than get caught up. Man, this is hard work now, is what I'm talking about. Because all the time the ego wants to argue. It wants to say to me, oh yeah, I was trying to be nice. I was just trying to be nice. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I was just trying to be nice. And this, such and such, disrespected me. Yes. And then this is what he said the other day, clickety-clack. Clickety-clack. Somebody's mind has got off the damn track. The rest of that poem goes, what is this madness that Nixon has put upon us? And, whoa, man, don't we see parallels with that today? See, another way to get all worked up and upset and get into arguments with people and start going crazy. Sit and witness quietly. Sit, touch the earth. We sit and we touch the earth, and the earth will tell us what we need to do. It's just a symbol, right? It was a symbol for Shakyamuni. It's a symbol for us. It's just a symbol that we will be guided. We will be guided if we just get our own self-centered stuff out of the way. And yes, regardless of the fact that the people around us seem to be having such a hard time getting their self-centered stuff out of the way. That's a distraction for us to focus on it. What did Jesus say about this? He said, hey, listen, before you attempt to remove the splinter from your brother's eye, try to take the plank out of your own. And that's a visualization, isn't it? Yeah. It says mold to mold. Boulder. So think of this. There's something. I entered the life of the brown forest and the great life of the ancient peaks, the patience of stone. And I felt the changes in the veins. In the throat of the mountain, a grain in many centuries. We have our own time, not yours. And I was the stream, draining the mountain wood, and I, the stag, drinking, and I was the stars, boiling with light, wandering alone, each one the Lord of his own son. And I was darkness. Outside the stars, I included them, and they were a part of me. How can I express the excellence I have found that has no color but clearness, no honey but ecstasy? Now that was a meditation that resulted in that poem. Touch the earth. And we remember how many roles throughout time we have played in this place. How many roles we have played. We get a remembrance, perhaps far enough back before any roles were played. And then we get instruction as to what to do next. I think that's enough.